So how do I get there? How do I become my own bank? This video is for those of you that maybe aren't ready to start your own bank yet, or for some of you that maybe think you're not ready, but you really are. The hardest thing about being your own bank is really the mindset shift that it requires. It's not so much about how much money you have or how much money you don't have. It's about getting your mind clear on what being your own bank is. Because it really is just changing one thing and adding one step to what you're doing now. I've done other videos showing the infinite banking concept and the process that we teach. And I've done them without having the specially designed and engineered whole life. So many people want to make it about the product when it's actually about the process. The process of taking back the banking functions in your life, as said by the late R. Nelson Nash in Becoming Your Own Bank. That is it. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna test drive it. How many of you love going out and test driving a car? Ooh, I do. Yeah, I bet you do too. So we're gonna test drive before we sign on the dotted line, just to make sure that the car's got the performance and the speed you're looking for before you actually have to buy it. You don't have to wait to have the money. You can actually start doing this right now. You see, one of the problems as I see it is that we've been taught to pay everybody else first. We've been taught to pay our debts first, our creditors first, our expenses first. Our needs are always put last on the list. We tell ourselves we only deserve the leftovers, and therefore we never prioritize our own needs. In other words, we don't pay ourselves first. So that's what we gotta do. We gotta get clear on who's the most important, and you right there looking at the screen, you are the most important, and until you realize that, nothing I say or do or teach is gonna help you. So that's step number one, pay yourself first. But I know some of you always say, oh, I've got too many bills, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. So was I. And you know what you gotta do? You gotta look beneath the surface. Because if you're living paycheck to paycheck, well, you got yourself there. But it doesn't mean you need to stay there. All you need to do is find the way out, and it's way simpler than what you think. And it starts with this simple thing. For every $10 you earn, just set the rule. For every $10 you earn, keep $1 before you pay anyone else. Think of it that way. For every 10 bucks or every $100, take $1 for every 10 and keep it aside. That's it. I know you can do that. It might require one less Starbucks. It might require you getting a second job. It might require you working that overtime instead of going out and partying on the weekends. But you need to take back control of your life, and you need to take back control of your money. And that sometimes comes with a couple things that you gotta cut out of your life. So are you ready to get out of the rat race? Are you ready to end your financial slavery? Well, I've got a 3-step plan that doesn't involve you doing anything besides changing how you use your money. Here we go. Step number 1, awareness. We're gonna get you around the campfire, but before, let me ask you this. How much time do you spend watching Instagram videos or TikTok videos or Netflix for that matter? Probably more than an hour a week or 2 hours a week, right? Actually, I know it is. So what I'm gonna ask you to do is to get around the campfire and learn. To learn how this works. And I'm gonna provide a lot of resources that you're gonna need, from free webinars, yes, we've got 6 of them we do a week, to constant YouTube videos on any topic you want. But here's the thing, it's your time, not mine. I'm already giving my time to create the content. It's now your turn to give me your time. And I don't even want your time, you deserve to learn. And that's gonna require you getting around the campfire. You don't even need to watch videos, you can just read books. You can read Mapping Out the Millionaire Mystery, my book, or Becoming Your Own Banker, or The And Asset by my friend Caleb. You can read 501k, there's so many good books and so many good podcasts. The Money School podcast, and many more. So whatever your flavor is,
chocolate chip.
That's what you gotta do. Because getting around these campfires, number 1, will help you learn how to change the way you think about money, because the way you think about money is probably the way that they want you to think about money.
Call me master.
And they, I'm referring to the banks, the government, and Wall Street, where they want to take control of your money so they can make a fee off of it. But this is about you taking back control of your money, which means it requires you to control your thought, the way you think about money, and the way you use your money. The other thing that's nice about webinars is you get in an environment where there's a whole bunch of other people that also think the way you think or the way you're trying to think. And getting around other people allows you to then absorb some of the things that they're putting out there. In the comments section of our wealth webinar that we do every Wednesday at 1 p.m., there's always people commenting on how this has changed their life, on how they did this or how they did that, and the outcome. You see, sometimes seeing or hearing is believing, and that might be what you need, because you probably got a lot of negative people around you day in and day out telling you you can't, you shouldn't, why would you do that, that's a scam. Well, until you actually take the journey and learn for yourself, you'll never know. Don't conform to other people's failed realities, other people's failed dreams, and other people's failed financial plans. It's time for you to create your plan and your future. Another thing about the calls, the books, the podcasts is you're going to see real people using the infinite banking concept. There it becomes not just a concept and an idea, it actually becomes reality when you see the infinite banking concept, the process being put into motion by other people. Step number 2, you got to create a financial plan. Now, let's not dive into financial plan as your financial advisor might say. What I'm talking about is we got to get really clear on what your money problem is. What are we trying to do? What problem are we trying to solve? Is it a bunch of debt that we want to pay off? Do you want to just get all the money back for all the cars you're going to buy, drive, and own? Or do you just want to build lasting wealth so that someday you have the freedom to use your time however you see fit instead of trading it for dollars how you've been taught your whole life? You see, creating a financial plan really starts with number 1, your perfect day. What does your perfect day look like? From the second you wake up to the second you go to sleep. Every second of that day should be mapped out so that you know exactly what each day will look like and each hour of the day will look like. Because once you get clear on what your perfect day is, you can work to create that perfect day. Now, it's not going to happen all at once, but little steps of it will start to materialize as you work toward it. And then also keep you very clear on your dream instead of getting lost in other people's failed dreams. We want to stay focused on that perfect day. This financial plan outlines that perfect day. It also outlines where all of your money is going, which leads me to step number 3. This one's the most important one, and it's a budget. I know this sounds really elementary, and I hope you know what a budget is. If you don't, just draw a T on a piece of paper. On the left, I want you to write down all the places you get an income from. If it's only one, that's okay. And on the right side, I want you to write down all your expenses, every expense that you pay on a monthly basis. Then underneath that, I want you to write all your debts from lowest balance to highest balance, including the balance, the percentage you're paying to someone else, and the monthly payment that you're making, whether it's the minimum or the amount you've been sending. And I want you to add all them up on the right, and then I want you to add up the left. What's the number? If you subtract your income from your expenses and your debt payments, do you have a positive number or a negative number? And if you have a negative number, well, this is where the hard part starts. You might have to work some extra hours. You might have to get a second job, a side hustle. You might need to do something to increase that left side column, your income, so that it's more than the right side, because otherwise, there's not much the infinite banking concept is going to be able to do to help you. So your budget will outline exactly how much you're saving or how much you can save, and that's going to provide the baseline for setting up your policy when you get there. And once you've got the financial plan and the budget figured out, you're going to be able to analyze how much cash flow you have at the end of every single month. And that's going to be your baseline. A lot of people are like, oh, this is only for the wealthy. Only the wealthy people do the infinite banking concept. Nonsense. When I started with $230 a month because that's all I had. And now I put tens of thousands of dollars a month away. But my path getting there will be similar to some of yours. Slow and steady, consistent and persistent. Those are the names of the game. There's no way to get rich quick. And even if you do succeed in getting rich quick, chances are you'll end up giving it all back and starting over. So why don't we just do this right the first time? So we have a money mentor by the name of Craig, and he challenged a client. So for the next 3 months, what he challenged this client to do is to take a certain amount of money, whatever came out of your budget and your financial plan, and set that aside in a separate bank account. Just open another checking account at your local bank. And then at the end of those 3 months, I want you to assess and figure out, was that amount sustainable Did it create any changes in your life? Did you have to work any harder, any longer? And did you have to take on any more risk to get to that? And if you didn't, bingo, you found the right amount to put into your infinite banking policy. And then what you should also do, which is what Craig asked this client to do, is get an accountability partner. So every single month, send a text to your accountability partner telling them how much you put into that separate bank account. And continue to do this and start dialogue with them to root you on, to give you encouragement. Sometimes we need that little extra push in hard times, and an accountability partner will do that. And by the way, your accountability partner will help you keep yourself honest, because the infinite banking concept relies on you being an honest banker. You never want to steal from your bank. So I know we don't have the policy set up, but that money you're putting into that separate bank account, did you steal from it? Did you go in there and just take a little out because, oh, you needed this or you needed that? Sometimes in life, those kind of things are what keep us from getting where we want. The other thing this is going to do is it's going to help you visualize success. And it's also going to create habits and behaviors, because if you start doing this, then you can continue doing this. Sometimes we have to develop those habits, and for different people, it takes different amounts of time. Some of you, 3 months, you're good. For some of you also, it might happen a little slower. It might take 180 days for you to develop the habits. But hey, whatever it takes, it will be worth it, trust me. So implementing these 3 steps over a 3-month time frame will be a valuable process to help you determine, number 1, the amount that's correct for you, and also the timeline that's correct for you, and also help you determine whether or not the infinite banking concept is the right fit for you. These are just the next steps to getting started with your challenge. And your challenge is to take back control of your money by implementing the infinite banking concept. I know you can do this, and you also know you can do this, but you're gonna have to prove it. And hey, you know what? Some of you are gonna prove that this concept is gonna work for you. And when you're ready, book a call with us, and you can do that by going to chrisnaugle.com, watching the 90-minute video. Oh wait, you already watched that, but just book a call, and we'll talk to you and get you started.